go. All right. Here we are with another game review. We're digging into our very long back catalog of game review requests. It's a channel point incentive on the channel. You can submit your own game of 5D chess for me to review and analyze. And that's exactly what we're going to do. This was brought to us by Narik. It is apparently his last game of the 5D chess Pro League Season 3. So the variant on display here is Defended Pawn, as you can see, where for the uninitiated, the queen and the queenside knight have their places swapped, so that all of these pawns are defended by at least one non-king piece. The crucial ones being sort of the F2 and the F7 pawns normally are only defended by the king, which, is sort of causes a lot of problems in 5D chess. So this remedies that. Okay, this game was played against Andre. Narik was black, Andre was white. And we're going to look at it from Narik's perspective since he submitted. We are lucky enough to have Andre here in the chat, although Narik left a little bit ago. So hopefully we can ask him what the hell is going on if we're confused. So let's just jump right into it. Okay, Defended Pawn. What's going on? Defended Pawn theory, slightly less developed than kind of Turn Zero theory. Not that that's very developed anyway, but, relatively speaking, there are fewer sort of agreed upon super canonical openings, I think. But hey, Knight F3 is a great way to start regardless of variant in 5D chess. Knight F3 solid. We can probably blitz through Knight F3, Knight F6. Just solid pieces. You're getting to, the piece in front of the F pawn is good developing your, I don't think that these moves need any introduction. C4. C4 is an interesting choice. Player 2, or turn 2. Knight F3 into concede, something like that. Okay, C4 is interesting. I play C4 sometimes in Defended Pawn. But I don't really ask myself, okay, so C4 is good. C4 is explosive. Yeah, very good. I think Ben Feingold makes that joke all the time. Okay, so C5. It enables, okay, so as you can tell, in Defended Pawn, the queen is the queens are on B1 and B8 respectively. It kind of makes them difficult to get into the game, right? And the sort of easiest way for them to get, you're not gonna develop the queen by pushing your B or your A pawn, right? That's kind of madness. There are some situations in which you might want to do that, but sort of the earlier that you can, I think, open it up and get it in the center, the better. It sort of probes the opponent's center, it prevents them from pushing the D pawn, which is kind of a structure that a lot of people are comfortable with in 5D chess. It grabs space and it sets up, usually what you want to do is sort of push B3, fianchetto this bishop, and then your queen and your bishop can get into the game. Just all around solid move. I think a lot of people tend to play C4 in this variant. I think there are kind of two camps, vaguely. People who go C4 first in Defended Pawn and people who go for kind of E3 first. Yeah, so let's see what happens. C4 is met with C5. Well, I'm Grandmaster Ben Feingold and you're not. Okay, C4 is met with C5. Which I think is reason, keep the symmetry. And for the same reasons, the reason that this is good developmentally for white is the same reason that C5 is good developmentally for black, right? Opening up the queen, it's good. Feels good. What people do next, I think, is, okay, usually you push this, you make the little sort of outpost, the sniper. It's not exactly a sniper's nest, because the C4 pawn is pushed. I guess is more of a sniper's bivouac. Maybe let's call it the sniper's bivouac. So this prepares the Frappuccino, right? Very, very standard. I think this is the opening that I play most frequently in Defended Pawn. Just makes a lot of sense. Well, it's either this or it's either the C pawn. Usually as white, you'll push the C pawn, etc. I think the black player tends to not want to push the C pawn, and instead, this is kind of an opening that we have Ryan to thank, Ryan4 CEO, who has released a study on Lichess about his kind of like preferred opening independent pawn as black, which is kind of like knight out, and Frappuccino the bishop, and then castle, something like that, which I think doesn't worry about c5, something along those lines. Might be wrong, but anyway, here we go. What do you do? I mean, I think there's no problem not to play symmetrically in response here. Ryan's a smart one. No, Ryan is a smart cookie. Okay, so look. When you see that your opponent is about to Frappuccino, a common response is to Frappuccino opposite. That way you add a defender. Because it's difficult to Frappuccino after the initial... Like, next turn, Andre is probably going to put his bishop on b2. If you've got your knight on f6 here, if you don't immediately push this pawn, then you're probably never going to fianchetto your own bishop. Because if you were to wait until after this bishop is here, then if you were to go ahead and push g6, that bishop would sack into the knight, and you would have to open up the king diagonal along the time diagonal to the king along the e-file, which is bad news bears for anyone who's got 5D chess experience. So, and you know, the alternative to, like, if you're not gonna Frappuccino this bishop, which I think is really good anyway in general, because the king here is just further away from the queen on this board. So like a kingside castle after you've done like a King's Indian kind of like style preparation, I think is decent in defended pawn compared to other variants. Just because, you know, like the far kingside, like the H file is relatively inaccessible to the queen out of the gate. And if you're not going to do that, then you have to develop the bishop this way. If you're not going to Frappuccino it, and you know, it's stuck looking at this pawn. It's not very fun. Well, here g6, bishop b2, bishop g7, bishop takes f6. Then you cry because you have a turn where e7 is undefended. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know if it's that big a deal. It might be, but how does your opponent take advantage of it? Can you prevent them from... Okay, hold on. So what you're saying here is... Here, Frappuccino, counter Frappuccino, takes. Then your opponent can go here. What turn does it go back to? What turn does this queen look at? So here, push, so boom, 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 boom. Does it look at this turn? Okay, so you have a turn to set up a defense, maybe? That's why I loosely only use the then they cry, because there's a lot more that happens, but probably e4, bishop, e2 phase onto it. Maybe. Wonder how a variant which takes a standard setup replace the queens and f-file bishops with common kings would pan out. I don't know. It feels like it would be a different game. That's kind of wild. Is it really a concern? Chat, can I get more opinions from the chat? The claim is that counter Frappuccinoing here is bad. Okay, so you've got a bishop here. So then there's like... Can't go back to a turn where there's a knight here. I don't analyze, just listen to analysis and not sagely, as if I understand. Well, your job's easier than mine is, Oh, you've got a bishop here along this diagonal. Is that not an issue? If you push this bishop here, doesn't that prevent the travel? Like if this happens, we can just reset the position. Like if this happens and this happens, like this doesn't Like, this can't happen, right? I mean, obviously here you'd take with the knight or whatever, like, but, you know, I'm not saying that this happens, okay? Because I think that that move has other issues. Yeah, so next turn this happens. Okay, so there is still a travel there that propagates, yeah? Here, queen h4. I mean, here you probably just take here, right? Queen h4 is a good point, though. I hadn't considered that as like a tool. I mean, you don't have to do this with the bishop. I don't think that does anything, but... Oh, hey, it doesn't work. Doesn't work for another turn. And then I think maybe you lose the opportunity to go back there on the right turn. Question mark? Okay, so where's the undefended... here's what I actually wanted to do here. I wanted to see... Okay, so this is the first turn that it's undefended. So we've got e7, e6, e5 is covered. It's covered. So this travel doesn't happen. I don't think it works, man. If you actually land the travel, isn't it mate in 2? If you actually land the travel... So if you get the queen here, then... Yeah, so like takes... takes, boom, check. Takes and then mate. Funnily enough, you survive longer if you take with the king. Oh no, sorry. Takes, take, and then the knight is covered, right? So you need to deliver another check. You can deliver a check like this. Takes. No, it's covered by the... I don't think it's mate in 2, man. Where you can land the travel. 95 check. Okay, so 95 check. Queen to... Oh, yeah, okay. So 95 check first is forcing. Of course it is. So then bishop takes... Sorry, give me a sec. Okay, so travel here takes. Knight check. Queen takes. Oh, this knight is still there. The knight doesn't get taken in that variation. Yeah, that's mate. Takes here. Only move. Yeah. Assuming there's no travel. Assuming there's no travel that enables you to recapture. If you can land the travel, which I don't think you can. Okay, I don't believe it. We're gonna assume that it doesn't work. We're gonna assume that it doesn't work. Knight f3, knight f6, c4, c6. Sorry, c4, c5. What happened then? Oh yeah. Okay, so right. Here's where we are. Okay. Visualization necessary in 5D chess is much greater than in other versions of chess. You have to visualize the current position and all the positions that led up to it. Very true. That's what makes blindfolded 5D so impressive. IMO. Only thing you can assume is that you have mate. Okay. Anyway, in a game, here I would counter Frappuccino. Okay, mate by assumption. The burden of proof's on you, though. Okay. Let's see what happens. Okay, so in game we do get g6. I think it's sensible. Probably we get Frappuccino counter Frappuccino. No, we don't actually. Okay, so we get bishop b2, doing what we wanted to do all along. And now, instead of Frappuccinoing and undefending the pawn here, Nourik actually opts to defend with the queen, which then next turn enables him to Frappuccino without any issues. So, maybe he thought of it. Who knows? So it's also kind of spooky that this is like singly defended by this knight. Probably got to do something to cover this. Okay. All right. Queen d6 here works. It's sensible. Okay. Knight c3 happens. Knight c3 happens, which is reasonable. You're developing. Is there anything if you give black a board where they have a queen staring down this singly defended pawn, is it a problem? Maybe not. How do you capitalize? Check takes. Because like you do takes only move, queen sack on this board. Okay, so you have like a bishop check. It's difficult to actually deliver mate. All right. Bishop e5 looked juicy too. Monty Python Cheese Shop was great but predictable. I mean, if you like, the joke is very, you know, the joke is it's the beautiful, sorry, the beauty is in the delivery, I feel. Okay. Here, okay, Bishop e5 is actually the move that I look at. As black in this position, I'm always worried about this move. I'm always worried about this move. I don't know if it's good, but it's certainly spicier than just developing the knight, which probably is what I would do. Developing the knight just looks good, you know. Although there is the little issue of like potentially, I don't really know if it's an issue, but this pawn here, I don't know what the alternative is. You don't really want to block in your queen anyway. You probably don't have to worry about it. Knight c3 here is sensible. Yeah. So okay, let's look at this though. Bishop e5 is what I'm always worried about. Yeah. Good night, Sonoy. Catch you later. Thanks for hanging out. I mean, kicking the queen, developing your pieces near your opponent's king, always good. Always good. I mean, really, I guess I don't know that it leads to anything necessarily, but it is a pain in the ass for black, right? Because they don't have like a fantastic way of parrying here. You just queen e6, like it's kind of like the only move. Then maybe you develop your knight and no, sorry. Instead of the knight, you probably develop, maybe put your queen on this diagonal and then like the knight here is like really annoying, right? Not sure about always good here. Knight c6 will hit the bishop. That's true, knight c6 will hit the bishop. Knight c6 will probably hit the bishop. But then I suppose f7 is also defended by the queen in that variation. It's not that big a deal. If you have knight takes. All right, it doesn't seem like it leads to anything immediately. You do like queen b2, knight g5 idea of queen e6? I was looking at knight b2, queen b2, knight g5. The only issue is if you've got the knight on c6, you can just take the bishop. And if queen recaptures, then you recapture with the knight. And the knight on g5 doesn't really do very much. So it's not good. Oh, or queen f5, which isn't what I would have done, but that makes sense too, right? Am I wrong about that? Like you take the bishop with the queen. Like if the queen gets kicked when it's on e6. So, okay. All right. Reasonable, you know, early game, you develop your pieces. It's good in regular chess, it's good in 5D chess. I mean, you do block this bishop, but it's not like there's any sort of early game, like, you know, degeneracy that you're going to get up to anyway. So you're repositioning. You know, knight here is like annoying. Kicks the queen, defended by the queen. And, you know, the knight is currently pinned because this Rappuccino hasn't happened yet. You know, alternatively, there's like a nice knight outpost here that leads to like a fork. And it kicks the queen. So, you know, it's good. There's a knight on c6, take on a5 after knight g5. Yeah, so good move. Okay. What's our response? Sorry, knight c3. Okay, we Frappuccino. We Frappuccino because, you know, something like this then doesn't absolutely destroy us, right? Otherwise, that causes issues. And you wanted to Frappuccino this anyway. The only reason you really moved your queen out here was to enable this. Probably want a castle. You know, it's not like you're going to get... This is how you develop your bishop. And why not do it now rather than later? You know, it liberates your knight. Otherwise, it's going to get pinned. So I think it's good. Okay. Fantastic. What now? Let's see. What do you have? White here. Early, you have more options in defend a pawn than I feel you do in turn 0. Here you probably make one of the aforementioned knight moves, right? This queen travel eventually to here is still like possible. I don't know if it's good, but like if black wanted, then they could like move the queen here and mate there. They'll probably want it, like more time to elapse. I don't know if you have to worry about it though. I think I'm overthinking this. Okay, if you get this, what about this? Kick queen, takes. Is a problem because takes, but then do you just have mate? Sorry, if this happens, kicking the queen, do you just have like mate somehow? Maybe. This is really annoying, right? If takes happens and takes happens, that seems pretty bad. For black, but does white open themselves up? The alternative is, okay, unless you want to develop the bishop, which I think probably you don't want to do, I think you probably make one of these two moves here. This move is really nice because it kicks the queen, and it's on this outpost, and it threatens to fork these pieces, right? It's just a really nice, really annoying, spooky move. The other one is like spicier, and it like forks this knight, which is pinned to the bishop and to this queen, which is kind of why I like it. Maybe it's bad. Unclear. What happens in game? Let's see what Andre thought at the time. Queen here is also pressured to defend e7. I agree. Kicking the queen here is good for that reason, but you kick it both ways, right? The other way, that just means it's kind of, you're like pressuring this decision a little bit more. Or you could just keep it there and move your queen like over 1 maybe to e6. Maybe in that situation though, in e6, maybe in that situation, knight g5 begins, like, is good. I think knight b5 is strong. Andre, what do you think of knight e4 though? What do you think of knight e4? Is it too cute? Too much? I want to know if I'm overlooking a way in which this is losing for white. Otherwise it looks strong, right? Knight e4 losing your advantage. Really, you think so? In any case, my gut tells me knight b5 is much better. Just take the knight, and then you take the bishop. Then what? You don't think this is spooky? Maybe not. Then like rook over, it recaptures and then takes, and then nothing crazy. You think it just fizzles? I guess that's true because you can't deliver check. Maybe. Knight b5, queen b8. Oh, okay, he's doing the knight b5 line. I think that knight b5 is like it doesn't have drawbacks and is also very strong. In game, I'd play knight b5 here. Isn't really a way to defend e7 and c7 with queen after knight b5? Yeah, exactly. Like that, you're kicking the queen from here, and you have to. I mean, you have to run the queen away. Obviously, can't take the knight. So the question is where. So it's either going to be this way or this way. This way it's like central and more active and continues to defend this pawn. However, you enable this fork here, which is pretty bad. Not just because it loses a rook, but like pretty bad anyway. Well, okay, you take the rook and then you've got like... I suppose there are a lot of reasons this is bad. And I mean, if you move the queen here, then obviously you fork the king and the queen, which is like terrible, terrible. So this is really difficult to yeah, and e7 travel as well. Yeah. So this is actually pretty devastating, huh? Let's see what happens in the game. I lost my place. Let's see. Knight c3, bishop c7. Knight b5. Knight b5 is played. Well done, Andre. Okay, so Andre ends up playing knight b5, which is good. I find it interesting how rooks get so strongly debuffed in the transition from scenario to 5D. We talked about that a lot. Okay, knight b5. Nice. Now, good player, this Andre. Yeah, I agree. Okay, at least we agree with him, right? So either we're past Andre and present Andre are either good and the rest of us are good, or, you know, perish the thought of the alternative. What do you do here? What do you do here as black? Because it's not good. It's super sketchy, actually, right? The obvious problem is if you get like a bishop out here as white, or the queen out here or whatever, and you travel onto here, then like after forced only move capture, you have to worry about, well, we looked at the travel before already, so we don't have to go into details. What do you do with this queen? Well, the thing that I've been talking about has been the fact that this queen has been eyeing up this d2 square, so maybe, I mean, it's a bit desperate, but queen f4 looks fun because it just enables the travel to, I think, the first turn that the queen... Yeah. Okay, so it enables a travel to immediately here, which is what I was actually thinking about this earlier too. Again, I don't know if it's good, but it looks spooky, right? Oh, it's bad because if you travel to there from 2 turns away, then first the knight recaptures, then after resack, pawn recaptures from the original timeline, and that's pretty bad. So it's not good. Kind of feel like rooks might be underrated. I think in general people shit on rooks more than rooks deserve in 5D chess. But that's like the next level of the 5D chess iceberg. You know, I feel like the 5D chess iceberg is like at the very top. Like above the iceberg is rooks are good because they're good in chess. And then once you know the game, rooks are bad, but then rooks are good again, and then rooks get bad and then good again. But okay, that seems pretty bad, but what else do you do with it, right? You move it over here, but again, the issue is that you undefend here. So maybe you move it here, and then next turn play this knight out so that you don't enable a travel to this board. What do you do if here... What do you do if here... Oh, maybe that's a good... Okay, so maybe here, and then you sack to prevent knight e6 from preventing a travel to e7. Yeah? Because otherwise, like, queen c6, knight e6 doesn't look terrible. Which just don't serve an early game purpose. So it isn't that they're bad, they just don't matter as much as the other pieces. Yeah. Which is the same as regular chess in the early game. It's like you said about castling. You got to know why castling's bad before it becomes good. Yeah. Similar to castling too. Yeah. Okay. That's really funny parallel thinking there. Unless Tones has just been Mage's alt this entire time, which I suppose is possible. Listen, is queen c6 punishable? Does this actually work? Takes. And then what? Because the queen can't come out. And you no longer have this bishop to travel. Yeah, Tones is my alt, says Tony. Sorry, wrong account. So queen c6 seems reasonable. By the way, we do have timestamps in the PGN that I was given. Neither... Wait, is that crazy? I actually don't believe this. It's a medium timer game. Apparently neither player has used any time so far. And this was in the 5D Chess League. Wait, Andre, can you speak to that? Are these timestamps bullshit? You guys haven't used any time for the next like 2 moves. It's a bit sketch. It was so long ago? It wasn't that long ago. Alright, okay. Listen, what happens in game? We're here to analyze. Okay, Queen F4 does happen in the game, which is spicy, but I suspect this is all theory. I don't know. I don't know about this. I mean, listen, it covers here. It covers here. Because it doesn't... having this stay here isn't really like an advantage. Can't like... I don't know, man. I don't know. Although it does maybe enable... Wait, does it work this way? Next turn, can this queen go to h6 and then do a 5 turn into the pass, 4 turn into the pass, travel onto here? Yeah, because it can do a 2 turn travel now. But will it block itself? No, sorry, another turn needs to elapse? Yeah. And by the time it goes back here, it will have... Okay. So it can't move back to do like a long... Because then the pawn can't recapture. As opposed to if you, you know, do the 2 turns into the pass travel. But I had sort of a mindset of, okay, I have no idea about theory, so might save some time. All right. It can, I think. Yeah, so what I was going to ask here is what happens after bishop b5 now. It seems spooky, and I don't think this travel's good. I just don't. I don't think this travel is good. Maybe I'm wrong, but I really, especially since the bishop hasn't even come out yet. Yeah, huh. Okay. Yeah, this is awkward because now this is inevitable. And after this happens, you're probably lost as black. Probably it's either BS timestamps or my time management wasn't that good. Well, it couldn't be me. Okay. Yeah, because here bishop b5 is way more annoying than it was before. You know, because now this is a thing, right? I mean, forget this. Now this check is actually kind of brutal, right? Because opening it up is like GG in like a move or whatever, something like that. And you can do and after checking here, you can do oh no, sorry, you can't. The travel I was thinking of doesn't actually work. I don't know. Well, okay, bishop b4 seems really good unless black has something crazy that I'm missing here. Okay, bishop b5 is played in game. Bishop a5 is played in game. Bishop b5. It's kind of hilarious how good bishop b5 is. Attacks the queen, threatens e7 travel, protects and disconnects queen from c7. Yeah, so if we had arrows, boom, 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 all of these are hit by this bishop. This bishop's actually goated. Looks spooky for black at a glance. Yeah, no kidding. This is like my worst nightmare. Every time I play this variant, I try to avoid this explicitly, which is why I think like knight f6 when knight f3 c4 is played, I think knight f6 c5 is Monka S. I think it is. It's a quad. It's a wooden shield. It does. It hits the. It's the wooden shield. Dude. Goated wooden shield. It's a kind of a wonky wooden shield, but man, that's fantastic. It's a wooden shield. XQC. The original 5D. I don't think I've seen him play 5D chess. I don't think he's tried. Okay, so what do you do now? Well, if my idea works earlier, you would go queen h6 here. And then I think travel? Can you travel? Okay, so let's see where this goes. Boom, Boom. Boom. No, it don't. Yeah, it's a turn early. Fucking knew it. And then like an extra turn after this, it'll run into this queen. So the travel is no longer possible. But honestly, where else do you put your damn pieces? The queen's got to go somewhere. Dude, this is brutal. What? According to the 5D PGN, no time has been spent and black's already lost. But we're like a third of the way into the game, so that must not be true. Where do you hide your queen? Take your pick, I guess. Maybe H6? There aren't very many places that it's safe. I guess H6 maybe makes you feel better about castling in a second. Okay, well, where does it go? It goes to H6. Queen H6 be played by black. Now what do you do? This looks so good. This looks so good. I think this looks better probably. Because this takes, threatens, it kicks the bishop. So you can take here. But then knight here covers the diagonal, so it's bad. Probably. Okay. I suspect that knight c7 is played here because it makes sense. It threatens everything. Knight c7 is played here. Wow. This is brutal. Okay, we have the juiciest fork of all time, also threatening some crazy, just like win the game soon shenanigans. Knight e6 is the play. Do you think so? Is it actually? Sorry, knight d6. Yeah, what I was highlighting earlier. Knight d6 takes knight out. Are you not okay? Am I wrong? Oh, then you check. And then it's immediate mate. Yeah. I didn't realize. Yeah, knight out gets mated in 2. You're right. Wow. I didn't know. I thought this was me moderating myself because in a position like this, I'd always look at knight d6 and be like, listen, knight d6 though? But, you know, I've got like a limiter where I'm like, all right, cool it with the, chill out. Play reasonably. Knight d6 might be the play here, dude. You just do the travel? Yeah, but you know, it's always better to play without the travel, right? No time has been used here, by the way. Like, I think probably knight d6 here just wins the game in a game in the 5D Chess League before any time has been used. Like, it's crazy. Okay, but, you know, this is what's played, man. This is what's played. Okay, so you gotta move the king, right? King f8 happens. Now let's. Oops, I never check that. It's crazy. Never click the button. It's pretty brutal. It's pretty brutal. And I have the same. So it takes, and then knight check, forced only move captures, and then this is mate. Which seems pretty good. Knight d6 gives you a chance to mate without needing to travel. That's what I'm saying. I think knight d6 is better. Oops, gotta smite a bot here. Give me a second. Bam. There we go. Oh, I figured out how to delete messages. Okay, there we go. Okay. As a callback to earlier in the stream. Wow. I think Andre, I really do think Andre could have won. Okay, what does Andre do here? So king f8 happens. Then we get knight g5. Why not immediate travel, Andre? Andre actually used, this is the first time usage of the entire game. Right, technically Narik used 3 seconds last. I think this must be wrong. I think the timestamps are probably wrong. But knight g5 is played here. To block the travel, maybe? You're afraid of counter travel? That's so lame. Not sure if you had to. I don't think you did, man. Okay, listen, knight g5 is played. I suspect that this move might be the reason that this game goes on for another for another 16 moves. But here, let's find out. At this point, I barely counter travels against me. I just assume they always lose. Okay, so Ryan doesn't believe in the counter travels. He just makes them prove it. Which is Peppo G. Take notes, everyone. Okay. Yeah, I don't believe in knight g5 here, but, you know, he's playing cautiously, even though he's already won the game before anyone's used time. This move felt smart in the moment. What happens? He takes here? I think takes here might set up a travel, actually. Right? Takes here seems obvious, because you're fucked anyway, right? Well, maybe, okay, this is undefended, so maybe you get something... Oh, maybe you can exile? No, because this bishop is here. Oh, although... Because, like, moving to h4 here suddenly enables a travel, right? No, it's taken. I suspect that... Okay, I think Enrique probably plays... Let's see what he does. He plays queen h4, okay. Eyeing up this juicy little square here. Now I'm curious what Andre does. Now he goes for the travel. Okay, he actually does the e7 travel now. But why? Why now? Well, okay, he was afraid of the queen. That's why. Although I think this is much less safe. But I don't know. We'll see. Hindsight's 20/20, right? Wow, okay. Monka S, huh? Okay. What is response? Oh, response is Jurassic. Oh, it does give him a timeline, right? So he's got another... Okay, so potential to be spooky. When does he go to? Wow, okay. So Narik was setting up the Jurassic this entire time. He doesn't go all the way back. He goes to turn 5, h4. He goes here. Which is interesting. I guess the idea is that this is the... Okay, yeah. So he goes back to the first turn where his queen is on d6. Because this, obviously, there's no, like, crazy follow-up here, but it gives him a turn if the knight recaptures here, which, you know, probably wants to. Then he gets access to a board where his queen is staring here, and it's undefended, and so then, you know, the idea is maybe, like, queen f4 and then his other travel. Oh, you're starting to remember the game, maybe. Or maybe not? Okay. This is Narik's idea. He wants to bait this so that this can happen and then travel and then win. Something like that. That's kind of the idea. That's why this turn in particular, rather than just the very beginning of the game. Which makes sense. Because this knight is always here. This was played on... And it's not turn 0, right? So... Okay, all right. Wow. Interesting. So, what may not have been a game always is suddenly a game. What do you do as white here? Is there any risk to g3? Now that's a good Jurassic. Is there any risk to g3 here? I like keeping the knight. I like keeping the knight on. I guess it does mean you have to recapture with the e-pawn if something wacky happens. Just take the queen. All right. That's the Ryan way, isn't it? Okay. Just take the queen. Let's see what actually happens in the game. Yep. Okay, knight f3 takes h4. Is what happens. Now what happens? I think you can move this queen here next move, maybe? So you can set up a check. I think is good. Maybe the only piece that you can really move is this. Well, maybe, or this bishop. Maybe is the idea. Also, what's going on here? Oh, you can't set up a recapture. Maybe that's all. Maybe that's all Narik wanted to do. Because you can set up a knight recapture here. It works. Also, you didn't calculate anything. You see no danger. Free piece take. Free piece. Both f2 and d2 are weak. I agree. Both f2 and d2 are weak. That's why, you know, I was calculating at all. But, you know, it is very much Ryan's philosophy to just capture. You didn't calculate past f2 and d2 being weak either. Why not? What's wrong with g3? Okay. I get maybe that's the reason that, hey, you guys have winning records against me. Maybe this is the reason. I I don't know, it just looks spooky to me. He's got another travel. But I mean, hey, if you had to sack a queen to recapture this thing, then maybe that's not the end of the world, right? For the white player. So now you probably set up this recapture. And indeed, he does. Okay, Nurek sets up the recapture. G3 is a solid move. Probably calculated a bit in the game. All right. Ooh, you know. Nah, that's nothing. Never mind. Okay. Then obviously white can deliver no check here. So the recapture happens. Although white can threaten the queen. And win the queen. Probably threaten a lot more actually. We'll see. Okay, this happens. So it's setting up the knight on e6 here is going to recapture on e7 2 timelines up in a turn. Well, in 2 turns technically. Okay, knight e6 be played. Knight c3 d5 is the move of choice. c3 d5. Setting up a check, which makes a lot of sense. It gets recaptured though. Knight c3 d5, huh? Why not threaten to take the queen? Oh, you still can next turn, because after this happens, you do this, and then the recapture happens. Oh, then if takes, then you have this, which, if you traveled, would give you checkmate on this king, right? b5 is also good. Do you think? Just move on instinct. This is the pro league. Is this what I can expect in the pro league? No, it's a solid move. Kicking the knight from here is actually really good. Because you threaten winning super hard. Because there's no bishop here, right? So and now you have your own timeline. So if you can actually take this rook, then all you have to do, or here, okay, if you take this rook here, all you do is like a single travel up here and you win the game, right? Does calculating have to do with knowledge? I think you probably meant brain power if I had to guess, but aren't you in the pro league? No, yeah, that's what I'm saying. Is this what I can expect? This level of calculation? I am in the pro league. Okay, hey, listen. Knight d5 played. I think it's good. I think it's really good. Bro, we're like 1700s. Okay, so the knight on f6 captures, which is actually super spookums. Doesn't this lose? Hold on. Am I crazy now? Because there's not... the knight here can't recapture. After this, all you have to do... Oh, no, because you have to travel to here with the on this board. But you can do that, right? Well, it depends on what the next move is. No, because he has to recapture. And then can't you just travel to this board one turn in the past and then you win? Right? Because it'll check it. You'll have a board up here as white with that bishop on it, and it'll hit the king down here, and it'll be a pass check. Right? Well, okay, maybe that's what happens. I don't know why I'm freaking out before I even know. Okay, yeah, so that happens, right? So the bishop takes the rook. Obvious move. And then this knight goes ahead and prevents white from winning the game. Okay, so it's all set up here. White's going to win in a turn. They can do basically whatever. IMHO. So what happens now? Okay, as the white player, we get on +1L, which is up here, right? Knight c7, checking the knight. I think fantastic idea. Just stall. He got 3 knights in a row. He do. That's one more and he could have won the game. Missed opportunities. Missed opportunities. Need just one more knight for Connect 4? Exactly. Okay. Oh, you know what? This queen can recapture her. No, because you can do the travel on this board. So it can still be your turn up here. So you win like for sure, right? Okay, let's see what happens in the game. I can't believe we're still... It's like halfway into the game. We still have half a game left. Okay, so check here. Very clear. Stalling for time. E4. Queen E4 I think makes sense. Defensively, offensively. Yeah. Does it get you to a place where you can maybe capture? Not really, huh? Seems good. Seems good. Okay, E4. Sure, buys you time. Now what happens? Now we get a travel. Queen D6 on this board. Travels to G3 on this board. I mean, to call this a desperation travel, I think, is an understatement. Wait, this Andre might not be all that good if the game continues for too long here. Well, we'll see. We'll see what happens. Maybe an exile or something. It is Narik after all. Well, you just take this, yeah? What am I looking at here? Okay, yeah, you just capture. Why would you not? Then bishop h6. You don't have any more timelines. Yeah, you can't buy that many more turns here, right? You just cover this. However, doesn't really matter. Maybe knight back, and then you hit the bishop as well. Knight back's probably fine. Maybe it's not. Isn't it? Okay, what does white do here? Hey, another free queen. This must be going great for white. Where we're going, we don't need timelines. Yeah, something like that. Okay. Maybe even like, okay, push this pawn's pretty bad, huh? Yeah, because then like, check takes queen, or check takes check queen, whatever. Maybe push this pawn. I don't know. It feels like there are a million ways to defend here. Which one does Andre choose? Knight c3, d5. Okay, so why? This enables this check, and then after recapture, I mean, I guess it doesn't matter too much because it's not like the queen has access to this square. It blocks the queen from getting there, and it prepares like a check. Although it does enable this capture to happen. Maybe it's fine. This isn't how I would have thought to do this, but you know what? It's fine. I guess it does prepare. If this capture happens, then this bishop actually wins like immediately. So that's cool. Actually, it wins immediately because this king is also here on this square. So it's fine, right? That's like okay to do. Oh, I just realized that's cool. The bishop travel I was talking about doesn't even hit this king. Because it hits this king first, which is funny. Maybe I just forgot about the check. Possibly. Pretty soon, bishop from future timeline can take rook for mate. It's true. It's true. I mean, pretty soon, you can also just, instead of doing something about this, you can like get, well, no, this got to be the past. No, you want him to move here. You want it for it to be your turn here before you do that. But yeah, anyway, ticking time bomb, certainly. Okay, so this happens. And the recapture can't happen because this is actually just mate on the spot. It's also mate because this king here on this timeline, it's been enough turns have elapsed that it's actually mate here too. So, you know, it's okay. It's fine. Who's this against? This is Andre versus Narik. Andre had white, Narik had black. This is their the last Narik's last game in the Pro League Season 3. Okay, you know what? It gets the job done. It gets the job done, and it's aggro. Unnecessarily aggro. What happens here? The check happens. Because of course it does. Okay, I probably would have preferred to prevent that check entirely. Now there's another check. You might not win, but maybe this is the reason that this game goes on so long. Right? Okay. So you got to take here. You can't move it Then that's just bad news bears. Then like this is like mate. Could exile it if you wanted. Actually, hilariously enough, exiling here is kind of good. Oh no, it's not because it doesn't hit in the past. Never mind. I take it back. Okay. All right. Yeah. I mean, Andre took here. King D2 happened. Then Queen D6 on -2L went to B8 quadragonally on 0L, even though he doesn't have timelines. What? Oh, he's setting up soft mates on this king? And he's gonna exile? Is that his idea? Maybe? Something like that? Am I reading this PGN correctly? -2L Queen D6 goes to 0 turn 7 B8. Turn 7, 0. Yeah, no, this is what. Alright. Okay. Okay. This happens. And on the same turn, +1L, king. He starts exiling. Okay. King E8 goes to E7 here. That's where he exiles to? Oh, I guess he's in check everywhere else. What? Okay, Andre really doesn't remember it. Yeah, these two moves were made. Yeah, this is turn 8. The king is going to E7. But whatever. Okay, this happens. How do you not remember this game? Time travel is playing a role in this match? That's certainly true. All right, I believe that I've read the PGN correctly. What does Andre do? He's got 3 timelines now. 4? He had 2 before the inactives happened. He has 4 timelines. I can't play a lot of cool games. You guys play so much more 5D chess than I do. It's fucked up. Okay, now on turn 11, 0L, Andre at this point takes it upon himself to travel to E4 on turn 8. What? Is this turn 8? It is. I suppose in an attempt to activate this timeline for some reason. Where does that... What are you doing? Okay, and then on -3... Which one? Sorry, which one's... -3... takes the queen on F4. Which enables Narik to capture... here. I have no memory of doing it. Did I get trolled by Narik? Did this not happen in your game? That was the least necessary timeline activation of all time. But okay, listen. It happened. Now what? -3L, queen b8. Okay, he recaptures here. Which, by the way, is like Manga S now for this king. Oh, actually, no, it's not. Because he made this timeline, which I don't super understand. Because without that timeline, this would have been like mate. I would assume I was drunk, but I don't drink. Is this what time travel would be in real life? People just getting bewildered, making more timelines in panic. All right, okay. This happened, and then on plus 2L, okay, here, 94, which again, what was your thought process? What are you, why'd you put a queen on E4 here? What? Maybe I have a BM idea? Yeah, let's give Andre the benefit of the doubt. Maybe there's a way that he just wins anyway. Although he does... Why would you... Because the bishop, and you just win. You didn't have to activate. You know what? Let's see what happens. We're befuddled, but instead of scratching our heads, let's scratch our temples. Due to the ensuing headache. Okay, of course, what white does here is travels. Minus 1L. We all knew it was coming. Okay, so now the travel happens, which I don't think is timed properly. Oh, no, it is. No, it's not. It's spaced improperly. Now it doesn't hit. It doesn't hit. No, it does. It doesn't. It misses the kings. Because it hits here on this board. The bishop up here. What? Okay, so the travel that happens. Minus 1L. T10. Queen. On E4 goes to E4 T6. Which is before the bishop is even there. Okay. Hanging another queen in the process, by the way. I guess he just wanted to activate maybe this. What the fuck, bro? Okay, this happened. Then on plus 3L, which is where we are here. The queen on H4, it sacked. All right, of course it did. Pro League match with how many timelines? I don't know. I'm sus now of like the... Okay, so technically it's actually not forced only move recaptures. Oh, no, it is. Yeah, okay. By a turn. Okay, so forced only move recaptures. Then this happens, which is actually kind of spooky now suddenly, right? Because all that's got to happen is like check and then travel and then win or something like that. Sorry, okay, what happens next? Yeah, so, okay, takes on F4. Oh, I guess there's a recapture though. Okay, so then the queen recaptures. Which is certainly something that has happened. Maybe you got possessed? Maybe Narik lied to me. Maybe it was a troll. And then... Ooh, queen D2 sack, which is fancy but doesn't actually do anything. It's fancy because it checks the king down here. It just gets captured. Which opens up the diagonal, but who cares, right? What the fuck is this game? Yeah. No, queen D6, D2. Okay, this is what happens. Queen D6, D2. Then... This one is truly bizarre. I understand why it was submitted. I can't believe that Andre doesn't remember this. Ladies and gentlemen, he's a genius. please. Are you telling me that you don't remember this happening to you? Bro, what? Why? Andre, why did you make the travel? Andre, why did you make the travel? Okay, this check, I think I do remember. All you had to do was leave the follow the damn timeline, CJ. I don't know, bruh. Dude, what? What the fuck? This is the last thing I expected, dude. What the? It was the last thing I expected because Andre made this timeline. We can't even say, like, bro, Narik is like the puppeteer. You know, he's like the mastermind behind this. All Andre had to do was not make this travel that hangs a queen for literally no reason. I'm under no obligation of being good at this game. I'm gonna lose my shit. This wasn't calculated. Dude, this wasn't calculated. What the fuck? And it's one turn. What possessed? Narik intimidated Andre into it, clearly. Dude, it's like... It's just... It's like... in my defense, I played something like aggressive AI. Remember when Narik played Queen H6, it was calculated then? Fuck off. Fuck off. It's like top engine moves. Too bad the top engine is awful in 5D chess. Dude, it's like if you were... It's like if you were in like a boxing match against your opponent, right? And you're fucking wailing on him. He goes down for the count. The ref's like counting down, and you take it upon yourself in the moment to walk over to the corner of the ring and smash your head into the corner post until you pass out. It's just like apropos of nothing. This is like the most absurd unforced error I think I've ever witnessed in 5D chess. And it makes it like the caliber of the players, I think, just makes it that much better. This is legendary. It was so I don't mean to like, I wouldn't feel this comfortable ragging on this move and the circumstances of this game if I didn't have so much respect for Andre, you know? My respect is unshaken. I just need to understand why. You made a worse mistake in a recent game against Tones? How is it that I'm having trouble believing you? You blundered right back? Okay, maybe that is even worse. How do you not you know what? I don't blame you because probably... No, I remember my most absurd blunders. Let's close this out. I'm gonna pass out. I feel lightheaded. Dude. Okay. What makes it funny for me is Andre's gameplay was a very clean attack with not a lot of counterplay. No, that's what I'm saying, right? It's like, what? What motivated him? He had so many cool ideas that Andre would have jumped on. Instead, he did the only thing that... Like, Narik had no... It wasn't that he had counterplay that Andre just had to avoid. It's that Andre created the counterplay for Narik. Okay. Sorry. Jesus. It was a good game to review. Okay, so now, you're Andre. Let's cosplay as Andre here. Let's roleplay, rather. Not really cosplaying. You shit your pants, right? Well, you don't have any options. Now you start to calculate travels. This queen probably is going somewhere over here, if I had to guess. Because this is mate, dog. Like, you gotta... Thankfully, actually, it's possible to recapture here, right? If you can get to a board where you have a queen on e4, you can actually recapture. So it's not like the end of the world. The best part is that it wasn't an immediately obvious blunder. Yeah, it really wasn't. Okay. So what do you do here? As Andre. Now minus 3L. Queen B1 goes to E4 on 0T6. The craziest thing about this, it's a shame because you're so close to winning here as well. Hi, Lo, we're almost done. We're just wrapping up here. Okay. Queen B1 here. What's crazier is that this is possibly defendable here. Oh no, but there's a check here, and it hangs the... Dude. Oh, okay. Oh no, sorry, this queen is on h6, right? It's not trivial to get a queen to there. He's got the triple A checks. I think he's wrecked. Okay, this move happens. Maybe the definition of a desperation travel. For like the third time this game, Narik takes the free queen on e4. The recapture happens with the queen. Right? Yeah. Bishop g7. Sorry, hold on. If I miscalculated the moves, I'm gonna be so frustrated. What's plus 4L? This is plus 4L. Turn 7 is what turn? Turn 7 is this turn. It says bishop g7 to c3. Chat. What? How is that possible? Queen b1 on minus 3L. We traveled from minus 4L. It doesn't even matter because the game is over. All right. Gotta relive this game. Maybe it's good because we can. It started off so reasonably. Right? No, sorry. This does happen. Yeah, this happens. Knight c3. Bishop g7. What a perfect ending. Oh my god, okay. And then queen f4 happens. Bishop e5 happens, which is just devastating. Queen goes to h6. Knight goes to c7. Remember when the game was over here, Andre? Oh god. Gonna drop out a little early. You guys enjoy? Alright. Catch you later with Daniel. Okay. Where was I? Lost track. Knight c7 happens. King of Fate. Knight g5 happens, which kind of makes everything possible here, actually. Queen h4 happens. Dude, this... Okay. Right, this is fine. Knight f3, g5. Queen h4. Okay, now the bishop travel, yeah. Absolutely devastating bishop travel. Dude, this knight move is the only reason... Okay. Right, so the first turn that the queen has played here. Yeah, this happened, right? Here's turn 5? Yeah, okay. Good. And then you take here, which I think still does it. The wooden shield is destroying Narik. Where did it go wrong? I think you might have had some funny travel made in mind, but you can't remember. I mean, I'm laughing. I don't know about you. Can't believe this game. Okay. Sorry. Queen, knight h4, knight. Knight h4. Knight d86. Happens. for the recapture, right? I remember. Then knight c3 goes to d5, which still is weird, but okay. It's fine, I think. Knight c3, d5. Knight f6 takes d5. Bishop takes, which is ridiculous. Knight recaptures here, right? It's such confusing. It's not easy to remember the moves either. Okay, so now knight b5, c7. Reasonable. And queen b1, e4, which is fine. Right? So now queen d6 here goes to g3. Right, this happens. Okay. Take with the pawn. Then bishop f8, h6. Knight c3, d5, which is the weird way to defend this, but that's fine. Bishop h6, d2. This is the again. Can I just reiterate? Slow down a bit before my sus travels. Trying to understand. Here, you could have prevented the check. Allowing this check is the only reason that, like, the insane self-blunder was possible, but that's fine. Listen, what's happened, right? Okay. Right, so king d2 here. Now, from minus 2L, which is what this is, queen d6 goes to 0L, b8. On turn 7, and then the king on e8 here goes to e7 here, which is ridiculous, but whatever. You found what you said post game. All right, we'll check that in the epilogue here. Let's just get back to where we were. Okay, here's where, incomprehensibly, Andre decides to put a queen on e4. Turn 8, yes, 0L, okay, great. And then on minus 3L, because the present is here now, this timeline's been activated, bishop b5, f4. Fantastic. Now on minus 3L, which is this board, we get queen b8, f4, of course we do. And then upstairs on 2L, we get knight f6, e4. 2L is this guy, knight f6, e4. Yep. The queen was hung after all. See a free queen, take a free queen. Okay, can you slow down a bit? Here, you wanted to play knight c7 on the bottom board. Oh, to mate the knight after, sorry. Oh, to mate this knight? Okay, Andre really wanted to play knight c7 here to mate this, the knight c7 here, or here, sorry, is the move. Because that here, it just gets captured. He wanted to play knight c7 here. Which would have been pretty good. Would have been brutal. But you had to reactivate it. Dude, this is a real, like, cautionary tale, isn't it? At what cost, Andre? At what cost? Sorry, where was I even? Right, so the knight, we have 2L. Yeah, we have queen. Okay, yeah, so here we have queen b8, f4. Here we have knight f6. E4, okay. Now minus 1L. Turn 10 goes to turn 6. E4 here. As far back as it goes. Sensible. Then queen h4, f2. King takes. Excuse me. Sorry about that. King takes. for like the billionth time we see this. This move happens. Then the queen recaptures. Then this happens. And then we have the checks. The bishop was about to check on the bottom board too. Yeah, I saw the bishop as well. Okay, we're almost back to the end of the game. This is where Andre's travel happens, but it doesn't happen on -4L, it happens on -3L. So this queen goes to E4, 0T6. It's like the one travel that I didn't quadruple check, which again hangs it, but whatever. It's probably what I was seduced by. Clearly. Clearly. Okay. Now there is a bishop on G7, so it's fine. Now, knight f4, E6. Queen b1, e4. Then bishop g7, c3. Weird they didn't just decide to check you here, but whatever. I guess he wants to check you next turn, maybe. Why didn't you just check you here? Whatever. I mean, you do you. You do you, Nurik. That's right. Turn 6? How are we still on turn 6? Sorry. The bishop... This is turn 7. Yeah, plus 4L. Yeah, okay. This happens. Okay, bishop takes e3. Now, queen on e4 goes back to e3, which does enable the recapture, by the way. Except there are so many... there's like the queen check, which maybe makes it impossible. This does actually work. Because you've got e3, f4, sorry, e3, f4, g5, h6. So it works. You know, if you can survive. Big if. Big if. There's some trouble here, but let's see. Knight takes f2 check. Knight takes f2 check for style here. What a check that is. Honestly, kind of necessary. There aren't any other checks on like the right turns, right? Like if you push your knight out here, then otherwise black doesn't have a check. Other than that one, right? Which is kind of crazy. Well, okay, this one also. No, that one doesn't matter. This is the only one. Zoom out for a sec, if you like. Okay, so this happens. Knight f2 check does actually happen here. The knight f2 check I think is necessary to prevent the travel. Yeah. You can zoom out all the way if you like. All right. Listen, we got to finish this game. I got to end stream. This absurd check happens, which for anyone who doesn't see, the knight up here checks one turn in the past and 2 timelines down. The king here. So even now, actually, this is crazy. So you remember here when instead of just seeing the free piece and taking the free piece, instead of doing that, just because Nurik decided to first sack the queen, not forced, that enabled him to check the king down here with his knight, which kind of prevented Andre from being able to set up the recapture. I didn't have words. All right. Last turn. It's like only legal move. And then the queen can check, so it's over. And indeed what we see. Final move in this game. Remember when you were laughing at Andre for not closing it out in like the first 7 turns? And he was like, wow, no, it's crazy, you know? How did it take me this long to win? Double queen d6 takes d2. What a saga. And you know, a fantastic way to close out the stream. Just absolutely absurd. Beautiful net of queens on d2 here. As an epilogue, Andre has shared with us apparently what he said to Narik. After the game. Yo, can you Discord DM me that link? Because I want to be able to open it on Discord. Or I could, well, okay, I can just copy paste it maybe into, because I'm not logged in and I've got like 2FA on my browser Discord. Okay, let's just find Andre here and then DM ourselves and then click the button in Discord. Okay, there we go. All right. So I see this before my tie breaks. This was all calculated, so I see this before my tie breaks and know how not to play. Yeah, exactly. This was the discussion. Wow, GG. Andreas main 1. Like that was highway robbery. I'm sure of that he missed main 1. And I created that queen that mated me. Yep. Now that is a game that should be reviewed by Samet. Prophetic. If you had to travel the bishop on h8 to g8 and it was going to be mate, there was a lot of different mate. There are many mating opportunities there, but this one was a doozy. But it was a great game submission for review. Okay. Wow. There we have it. GG's to both players. I'm very glad that this was documented. This review was.